Hi everybody, it's Usernamekate and welcome back to my channel. I am here at Motorcycle Live for the final day and I am going to run you through my top 5 middleweight adventure bikes. So, if you want to hear what I think about these and what my experiences have been like with the bikes, then keep watching. So we're here on the BMW stand, sat on the F900 GS. Now I was fortunate enough to ride this bike 7 months ago at the launch in Portugal and I had such a good time. This bike can really hold its own on the road, it can hold its own off-road, and what I like about it is there's so many customizable specs with it. So you can start from £12,000 and have it kind of more of a road-based bike, or you can go all the way up to like the £15,000 mark and you can get enduro packs on this. You can get it specced with the handguards, you know, for proper like off-roading. One of the things that surprised me about this was even though it is an adventure bike, it's capable handling on the road, showed that you could go and do some big trips on it as well as the off-road stuff. The only thing, it's got a little bit of a small tank at 14.5 litres, but yeah, a very capable bike, and I'll insert some footage now of me having fun on it. Yeah, so far, even on knobblies, this bike is proving to be epic. We've even got a 21-inch front as well, and yeah, it's handling everything. It's just lapping it up. This is quite surprising. I thought it would definitely feel more wallowy, but no, it doesn't. How is he just so cool? The man stresses me in a good way, because he's a gangster. He's gangster AF. Wow. Oh my gosh. That drop is insane. Wow. Right guys, I couldn't look at the middleweight adventure bikes and not come to the KTM stand to look at the 790 Adventure. This is a bike that I personally got to ride, I think it was this year, it might have been last year, but I rode it anyway with Lamb Chop Rides and Aaron from Knox, and it was a road ride and an off-road ride. So we got to really experience this bike, what it was like with its road presence as well as off-road. Now on the road, I absolutely love this bike. We rode it in torrential rain, and those Pirelli Scorpion STR tyres on the front, the rallies, they stuck to the road like glue. We had a flyer. In fact, we actually rode these bikes around the Welsh roads faster than we did the 790 Dukes because they're just that confidence inspiring. You've got wide bars. Now I particularly like this one because we've got a big 20-litre tank, so you don't have to fuel up as often. We've got the option of cruise control, which was really, really handy on the motorway jaunts, and we have the option of a quick shifter and auto blipper. So yeah, off-road, it was great. It's a little bit on the tall side for my stumpy little legs, I must say, but I managed. I did a bit off-roading, I put myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I found it really rewarding. But it's just a really good adventure bike to stand up on. Everything looks great, the dash is nice, and it is a bike that, yeah, I would own because I loved it. Well, I couldn't walk past the Suzuki stand and not include the VSTROM 800 DE. If you guys watch the channel, you'll know that I am in love with Suzuki's 800 parallel twin engine. It puts out 83 brake horsepower, and you know, on paper that might not sound a lot to a lot of you, but I love how it feels, the characteristics, the torque, the oomph. In fact, I love this engine so much that I'm tempted to get the GSX 8R, as you guys may know if you watch the channel. However, I wouldn't say no to owning the 800 DE. This adventure bike is so comfy, it's awesome. The way the power's delivered, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we've got a 21-inch front like most of these adventures that I'm talking about in this video. And the handling of this, when you're really pushing on country lanes, can be a bit wallowy. There are other bikes that are better on that front, like the KTM 790 Adventure and the TRANSALP 750. But just everything else about it makes up for that. I love how it feels. The suspension's quite plushy, like you can see it now bouncing. It just absorbs all the bumps when you're on the motorway. It just kind of glides. Yeah, we don't have cruise control, but if you get one of those little cruise control thingy-majiggers, you know, you can kind of just pretend you have it. But I absolutely love the V-STROM. I haven't ridden it off-road yet. I've just treated it more like a general adventure bike. I've done quite a few big miles on it in total comfort. Absolutely love it. And my partner Mike, behind the camera, he actually took the V-STROM that's in our garage at the moment off-roading and was doing some pretty gnarly green lane stuff on it. And I think it kind of had not full-blown knobblies either, so he was putting a good shift in with the tyres that were on it. And he shows that this bike is fully capable of doing some off-road stuff. It's got gravel mode, you can turn all the traction control off, you can switch rear ABS off, all that jazz. 20 litre tank, good for travelling, good for touring. Yeah, I really like the V-STROM, I love it. Well guys and girls, we've come over to the Yamaha stand to sit on and look at Yamaha's Tenere 700. Now, I've been fortunate enough to ride this bike off-road and on the road, and it is a proper awesome piece of kit. Now, it may on paper have less horsepower than the other bikes that I'm talking about in this video. We've got that Yamaha CP2 engine that produces about 73 brake horsepower, but it is the perfect amount of power for this bike. Now, I rode this at the Yamaha Off-Road Centre, and I'm not going to lie, I rode this and the World Raid, and the World Raid is a little bit tall and a little bit crazy, but I felt right at home off-roading it. Obviously, you've got to think about things when you stop a little bit better, because the seat height of this is 875mm, and it's even more on the World Raid, which I was riding. But once you're moving, you know, you've got a 21-inch front on this. It's very, I feel like it's a bit more of a basic bike, but more like enduro-y, off-roady focused. Like Yamaha have really made this purpose-built. The dash is beautiful, and yeah, it was great off-road. I rode it on-road, and to be honest, I feel like how this handles, it is, you do feel that 21-inch front on the handling, like, realms. It is a bit more wallowy, and I found that with the V-STROM 800 DE as well, so it's not unique to this bike. But yeah, off-roading, I feel like this is where this bike excels. But yeah, it's a really good bike. It does really well for Yamaha. This year they brought out a bajillion different versions of it, and yeah, there's a lot of choice for a lot of people. Well everybody, we're here at the Honda stand on the TRANSALP 750. Now for 2025, we've got some slightly different suspension and a different headlight. However, I want to talk to you guys about last year's, which is what I have put quite a lot of miles on. Now I'm going to be honest with you, at first I really didn't gel with the TRANSALP because I was used to riding the V-STROM 800, that parallel twin engine on that bike, even though it's less horsepower, has so much torque. Whereas with this is not as much low down, and this engine really comes into its own when it's singing and when it's being really sporty high up in the revs. Okay, well here is where the music on the Honda stand got a little bit copyrighty, and I don't want to take that risk. So I'll do a voiceover for you guys instead. What I was getting at here is, at first when I rode the Honda TRANSALP 750, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I didn't really gel with the bike, unfortunately, and to begin with, I much preferred the V-STROM 800 DE. However, my opinion completely changed of this bike when I got to ride it around the roads of Slovenia and Croatia with TENERE motorcycle tours, and I had an absolute blast. The seat was super comfortable. The throttle that I initially thought was quite snatchy, I didn't feel any of that. and I just felt great roaming the roads of Europe. Now, although I haven't personally off-roaded this bike, Mike has, and he actually really enjoyed it, to the point where out of all the bikes in this video, Mike would probably go for the TRANSALP. So it really left an impression on Mike. And he did some big miles on it. He went to Scotland and back, and as I said, did a lot of off-roading. So yeah, it's Mike's pick. But for me, this bike was definitely a grower. Well guys, that concludes my middleweight adventure bike choices. Did I miss any out? I'm trying to think what my favourite of those bikes are. And I really think it's probably a tie between the VSTROM 800DE and the KTM 790 Adventure. I feel like they're almost tied, but I do really like that Suzuki parallel twin engine. It's so strong and it's right up my street. And yeah, I mean, both the KTM and the Suzuki have big 20-litre tanks, and I just don't know what I'd pick. But let me know what you would pick in the comments below. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed this little quick video, just throwing it together to give you a little bit of an idea about what I enjoy. So guys, until the next time, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you then. Bye! On the road, this stuck to it like it was on. Wait, no, yeah, but one sec. Super. Right. What? Merch available, guys.